So we did touch on cognitive decline and how it kind of creeps up on you as you get older. So just what are your thoughts on cognitive decline? What are kind of the root causes, and what can we do to delay or avoid it?
Yeah, absolutely. So there are a couple of, major causes that I think most people will be suffering from. So one, which is not that obvious, is the buildup of chronic cortisol in your body, which is the stress hormone, right? So we do have, multiple things stressing us out throughout the day. So then your body starts being in this constant state of fight or flight, meaning that your sympathetic system will be activated. And when this is the case, you actually, again, will be having the symptoms that we previously described when it comes to dysfunctional brain that is already about to start spiraling into neurodegeneration, which is, increased reactive oxygen species and neuroinflammation and such. So here, in order to prevent this and in order to stop living in a constant state of fight or flight, you actually need to think about how you can very efficiently and quickly be offsetting this throughout the day. So for me, for example, it's guided meditations. So let's say I have lengthy meetings during my day, and then I just listen to some guided meditations for a few minutes, maybe it's like 5-10 minutes. And then I literally can see my heartbeat going down on my iWatch, and basically my state from sympathetic nervous system activation switching into parasympathetic nervous system, and now I'm not overwhelmed anymore. So this would be one hack, for example. But overall, if you don't want to do the guided meditation, you can just take short breaks, and you can also move between your meetings a bit. And actually movement is something that offsets a lot of processes in our body. So another reason, cause of neurodegeneration could be insulin resistance. So it's not a coincidence that Alzheimer's disease is actually called type 3 diabetes, right? Because all of these Alzheimer's patients, they start developing insulin resistance way before they actually are diagnosed, and especially in their brain, they do start having the buildup of insulin resistance. Now, as we previously touched, ultra processed foods in our supply chain, in our food pyramid, are very, very bad for us. And then we are used to be getting calories from carbohydrates, but actually this, comes with insulin spikes in our blood. And with that in mind, again, we are going back to the root cause of neurodegeneration and the phenotype with the reactive oxygen species and the neuroinflammation. And I'm sorry if I'm repeating myself, but actually, if you keep on reading on this, you'll realize that it all goes back to this. So this for me was mind-blowing, because I started my studies in neuroscience because I wanted to understand how the human brain works. And after years and years of studying it, it all is always leading back to insulin resistance. So this was, an epiphany I had. And with that in mind, there are so many things that we can do in order to manage and prevent the buildup of insulin resistance. For example, when we're having a particular sequence, when it comes to our food consumption, even if we still are consuming carbohydrates, we can minimize the insulin spike. So for example, we're consuming some fiber first. So this could be some salad, for example. And then after that, we're consuming fat and protein as well. So this could be meat and such, meat, cheese, things like that. And then after we have done that, we basically have coated our gut with the fiber and the other ingredients. And then as a result, when we do consume the carbohydrate at the end of the meal, the spike in the blood will be less. So this is very, very crucial in order to basically minimize this reaction that, again, will lead back to the insulin resistance buildup in our body, and also the damage that the reactive oxygen species will cause in our arteries when the glucose levels are spiking, right? So this is one thing. Another thing, how you can basically hack your biology. So let's say you have a meal, even if you have some carbohydrates, what you can do after the meal is actually you can get up and you can move for a few minutes. You can do some sit-ups. You can, just go up and down the stairs for a couple of minutes. And what it will do is, because it's going to activate your muscles, like they will start moving. And with that, when our muscles are moving, they start metabolizing different compounds and nutrients, including glucose. So this means that we will actually be increasing our insulin sensitivity if we are moving our muscles after a meal. So this will also help offset our spike after a meal that does contain carbohydrates. And this is another basically, way to biohack your biology and protect against both insulin resistance buildup and also cognitive decline, because there is a super tight correlation between the development of insulin resistance and cognitive decline. Like by this point, the evidence is undeniable. They both are connected, and we need to be proactive about what we're doing, with our health and with our cognitive function. And with little things like that, it's very easy to actually offset at least some of it, basically.
In today's demanding world, maintaining energy and a sense of vitality can feel challenging. Prioritizing self-care is crucial for optimizing your performance and well-being across all aspects of life. What can you do to take better care of yourself? Magnesium Breakthrough is an all-natural supplement designed to address the root causes of fatigue and support a holistic approach to health. This unique formula helps to reduce fatigue, improve sleep, and even strengthens muscle and supports your heart and brain health. Unlike traditional magnesium supplements, Magnesium Breakthrough leverages a full-spectrum formula comprising all 7 essential types of magnesium, ensuring optimal absorption and efficacy. Ready to experience the difference? Visit bioptimizers.com/modern and claim your 10% discount with code MODERN10. In addition to the discount, you get gifts of up to 2 travel-sized bottles of Magnesium Breakthrough with each purchase. And it comes with the Bioptimizers 365-day money-back guarantee. Right. It's kind of difficult to measure insulin resistance directly, right? I'm not sure. Mm-hmm. There may be ways to measure insulin in the blood, but they're not like on the standard panel. Yeah. What would you look for? Would you look for like high blood sugar, HbA1c or something?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you can be doing all of those blood tests, obviously, but how many of them will you be doing on a regular basis, right? So, the vast majority of people out there will not have the time or the resources to be measuring those things on a regular basis. HbA1c, definitely super important factor because it does show the accumulative effect. So this is actually the metric that is correlated the most with the buildup of insulin resistance. So definitely I'm recommending to be measuring this. You can measure both blood glucose and HbA1c. But then also with regards to how you're operating on your day-to-day life, I think that it's very important to actually create a system where you're reporting on the subjective functionality, like the subjective feeling and the subjective functionality of yourself. And if you create a framework where you're measuring different things such as your productivity and your sleep quality and how much sleep you're getting, eventually you will realize what are the factors that can basically contribute to either improvement or decline of this. And we actually have built a mobile app for NMN Bio. So if you type in NMN Bio into the App Store, both on Android and iPhone, you can download this. And what we have in there is a well-being questionnaire, and you can fill it in at day 0. So for example, before you start some interventions, whether it's taking our supplements or any other kind of interventions. And then there is a sequence of questions that you're replying to, in terms of how are you feeling in terms of afternoon fatigue, sleep quality, things like that, and multiple other questions, sugar cravings, how often do you have sugar cravings? And then after 30 days, you can fill in the same questionnaire and see what changed. So now this kind of gives you a reference system to see, okay, is what I'm doing working right now, right? Because this is the question that we want to answer here. And, you know, with our berberine product, which is optimized for absorption with milk thistle, we have a lot of customers reporting that after 10 days or so, they stop having sugar cravings. So this is an amazing result. And this is also a subjective feeling, but it can actually, you know, if you track it down every day or every week, how many sugar cravings I had today, or how many sugar cravings I had this week. This gives you a reference number now without you having to go and do a blood test. So now you know whether you're moving into the right direction or not with your lifestyle interventions, right? Because I'm a big proponent of actually developing a system that is simple enough for everyone to implement, regardless of the budget that they could allocate for, you know, biohacking and all of these things, because not everyone can do that, right? Like not everyone can be doing blood tests every week, but everyone can actually create such a questionnaire or fill in the questionnaire that we have in the app and then see what happens within a month or within a week. And then you track it this way. I personally have my own template, which is like higher resolution as well, that I made in Notion. So it's like a table. And then every day I'm tracking how many capsules of NAD brain I had, how many, how much deep sleep I got, you know, and things like that. And you can create a table like that, basically asking yourself, okay, what are the metrics that are important for me? Just like you would do with your work, right? And measuring some KPIs. I think it's actually very important to create such metrics for your individualized health approach to kind of see what is the trajectory that you're currently at. And then another point here is that, okay, how many cheat days or how many cheat events I can have in my system within, let's say, a calendar month without deviating from the trajectory of improving my overall health, right? So let's say you're tracking, you know, your sugar cravings and this and that, and then once a month or once in 2 weeks, you want to have a cheat day and you want to go all crazy. And by the way, interestingly, when you start having real food and, you know, no processed foods, you actually stop craving those things, right? So for example, I have people tell me, oh yeah, my cheat day is McDonald's and this and that. And like, I ask myself, when was the last time I wanted to have like McDonald's meal? Like never, like, I don't remember. It's been years, right? Because now it's disgusting for me to eat something like that because it's just so processed. So, you know, my point here is that we don't have to have fancy biometrics in order to improve our health. The thing that matters is that to kind of be conscious about what you're doing on a daily basis and actually have the intention to improve your health and to offset the aging process, because for me, it's all part of the aging process, right? Like the cognitive decline and the insulin resistance, like it's all part of the aging process. And if you can be doing something, some small tweaks to offset on a daily basis, you will be doing great. And another example here would be, you know, I had a lunch with some friends the other day, and there was a young lady there. So she is, let's say, I don't know, maybe 4 or 5 years younger than me. And she was asking me about Botox, right? And she said, oh, what's your stance on Botox? And such. And this is a young lady that that doesn't eat much meat. I don't know why there are people like that. You know, they either for environmental reasons, as they say, or compassion reasons, or something else, or they think that meat is bad for you, whatever. And then she doesn't take any supplements either. She thinks that she doesn't want to take supplements, like not only Element Bio, but like any kind of supplements. She's not a big fan. But then at the same time, she's asking me about the Botox. And I said, look, well, I still don't have deep wrinkles on my face, so I don't have a reason to start doing Botox. And then she asked me, oh, but why not? Do you think it's dangerous? Well, of course, it's a toxin that you would put in your tissues that paralyzes you. Yeah, of course, it's not, you know, it's not the safest thing in the world. And if I can offset the aging process by just supplementing and having a healthy lifestyle where I'm exercising regularly and I'm actually I'm giving all of the energy with my workouts to my mitochondria to function properly, and then I'm taking things like NMN that activate my collagen production pathway, and I still don't have deep wrinkles on my face at the age of 35. This means that the inner layers of the skin are still being maintained optimally, and my collagen production, is doing well. So I don't need a reason to start all these nasty procedures. Why would I even do that? And like, I could see that this got her thinking, because she realized that, okay, what am I doing with my nutrition and all these things? And because the Botox is basically a consequence of not taking care of your cells internally. And this is why you need it in the first place, right? So the question here is, how do I offset it until a certain age? And I think that this can be offset with just, good skincare, good lifestyle, good supplementation up until like much later in life. So I don't see myself, starting to have Botox like anytime soon. I think I'm good for now. And, there are all kinds of different treatments that are coming up, which are more natural, like PRP, for example, or, stem cell injections, things like that. Maybe I'll start doing those later on, but like I basically am still a proponent of a natural approach when it comes to health.
So in terms of insulin resistance, or in fact also cognitive decline, do you see going into ketosis as helping, right? So providing non-glucose energy to your brain?
Yeah, absolutely. So I'm practicing intermittent fasting myself as well. And on that note, we actually do have an intermittent fasting tracker inside the NMN Bio app again. So this is free for everyone to download. You can download the app for free from the App Store. And when you are in ketosis most of your day, you basically will be having the ketone bodies for your brain to utilize, because eventually, like at around 12 hours after a meal, you will pretty much burn through most of the most or all carbohydrates that you got with a meal. So then low grade ketosis starts probably from the liver first, and then within 24 hours, like at 20 hours, you're already getting a nice effect in terms of what we call the ketone brain, where your brain operates on ketones, and you have amazing cognitive clarity, very useful for work. So that's what I'm doing. I'm doing around 20 hours of fasting every day, and then this of course, like the less you spike your insulin, the better it is for your body in general, for longevity as well, right? So this could be achieved by fasting and also consuming less carbohydrates, and maybe you won't have carbohydrates with some of your meals. So definitely super useful. And another rule of thumb when it comes to your meals is that when you're having a meal and you're feeling very heavy afterwards, this is a rule of thumb that something's not right, because a healthy meal that provides you with the right nutrients and no junk food basically is not going to make you tired. It's going to make you feel good after your meal. And if it's only fat and protein, it's not going to be that much of a spike in any case, right? So very, very important. And food should be our fuel and not our poison. And when I'm thinking, yeah, absolutely, because I'm thinking about when was the last time that I indulged in a dessert, which I do sometimes, by the way, right? Like, I'm human, and I want to put this disclosure there. Sometimes I do, and I'm in a company of great friends, and then I might have like an occasional glass of wine as well, and I might have a dessert. So I'm doing that, and then I'm asking myself, when was the last time I had a dessert? And I actually didn't regret it. Because I feel so heavy and bad afterwards, usually, because my body is not used to huge insulin spikes by now. But then I'm also asking myself, when was the last time I went to the gym and I regretted it? And the answer is never, because I'm always feeling great. And like, your body is kind of telling you what's good for you and what's not sometimes, So it's very important to to listen to our bodies and also interpret the signal and realizing what it is. Because to be completely honest with you, when we are low on energy, we will be naturally craving something, right? And for different people, it could be different cravings, but this is our body just telling us, okay, well, now, our sugar is probably dipping, so we need to replenish energy. And the fastest way to replenish energy is carbohydrates. And this is why, people are snacking, which is actually not the best thing ever, right? So so whenever I'm traveling or I'm at a conference, I'm just having some beef jerky and some cheese balls and things like that. And people don't understand what I'm doing. And why I'm not snacking on carbohydrates like everyone else. But yeah, that's the thing there.